Hey everyone, I'm Jeff from DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures, and thanks for stopping by to check out my channel and today's episode of my 2022 elk hunting season. If you're here for your first time or you haven't subscribed yet, it would mean the world to me for you to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification button so you don't miss out on any more upcoming episodes. Today's episode is my 2022 elk hunting season, which had some hard times and was a bit of a grind, but it all paid off in the end. Give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you like what you see, and I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed putting it all together and bringing it to you, right here on DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures.
We did it again, buddy. Oh, yeah.
DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. So we're on our second setup of the morning, and I'm not really seeing much. Some on trail camera, lots of sign, so we know we're in the right area. Just finished doing a little bit of a slow play sequence here. See if that brings anything in. Still early, starting to warm up a little bit. Well, it's just before 6 o'clock. There's about 2.5 hours of daylight left, and we're set up just above this watering hole, a trickling creek. Lots of game trails moving in and out of this, so with the temperature being about plus 22 today, we're hoping that the elk are going to come in for a drink on their way to some nearby fields. So we're going to set up here for the rest of the night and see what happens. I attempted to work my way through a couple slow play sequences and some advertising bugling, but nothing was bringing the bulls in this evening. Halfway through day number 2 and not finding much elk, any elk, not hearing anything, and not finding a whole bunch of sign. But we've set up a trail camera and loaded up a scent wick with elk and heat estrus, and come back here a little bit later, see if there's anything moving through the area. But day 2, it's a tough one. So after we came out of that little marshy pond area, Leon thought he could hear a chuckle, and then he took a tumble. So we sat down and rested, gave a couple chirps, and sure enough, a little bit of a bugle came back. So we tucked ourselves into some spruce trees here, and he's made a couple noises. He's chuckled. He's given like a half bugle. I've dropped about 30-40 yards behind Leon right now, and I'll act as the caller. He's definitely the shooter in this situation, but he's held up somewhere. Not really sure where he is, so sending in Leon after him. I'm gonna stay back here and chirp, hoping we can get him to come in and at least get a shot on this guy. First elk we've been into in 3 days, finally. Evening hunt of day 3, back at a familiar spot. This is where I saw the cow about 100 yards from my truck a few weeks ago. So we think this is one of the spots where they're crossing to get to an oat field. So we're gonna try to set up on a main game trail and cut them off on their way to feed. We're hoping for success. I got my lucky hat on. I've killed 2 elk with this hat. Maybe today will be the 3rd. Stay tuned. You're hanging out with DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. September 17th, day 4 for us, and hasn't been an easy go. Not finding sign, not finding much of anything. Actually, yesterday we took off to our remote location, which is about 2.5 hours away one way, so an extra 5 hours of driving yesterday made for an extremely late night. And with the rain and windy conditions this morning, we felt it was a good day to sleep in, get a good breakfast in us, and come out midday, early afternoon to check a couple cameras that we put up in the last couple days, pulling out all the stops here. I'm using scent wicks with cow and heat scent on it, hoping to attract something. Nothing in this area is responding to our calls. They should be going off soon, I hope. Not getting frustrated, but I am starting to worry that we are not going to get into elk this trip. So the trail cameras aren't showing anything, and we're trying not to get discouraged. So we're going to go to spots that we haven't been. This is one of them. Found a little bit of a clearing, a log to sit on, which is always important. And going to do some calling, and hopefully something comes in. Maybe today's the day. Well, the first clearing didn't work out for us, so we've hopped on the quads and headed down the road a little bit to a spot that we've been to before. Did find a pretty good rub on a tree, pretty good game trail coming through here, so we'll set up here for a little bit, see if we can find something passing through or call something in. It's a rough go. It's the middle of day 5, and it's a tough day for me today. 5 days out in the bush. We're putting to work everything that we have, everything that we can, everything that I've learned, and it's not paying off. It's we're coming up empty-handed. We're not finding sign, we're not finding elk, other than the one day where we drove 2.5 hours away from camp to get onto some elk, which we did, but it's just not feasible to be driving that far. We were talking about packing up camp, maybe leaving to go over there, but realistically, no guarantees either. And of course, I always say it's all about the journey. I mean, look what's behind me here on the McLeod River. You can't beat views like this and the experiences and the scenery that I'm come across in the last 5 days. But you don't want to let those thoughts start creeping in, but they do. They do. You think about quitting, giving up. Is it worth it? Is it worth the time, the energy, the money you put into it? And those thoughts are creeping in today. That's the reality. I don't want to give up. I want to keep pushing through, but every day is a little bit harder to wake up and think about where I can go, where I can be successful. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. We got a few more days out here. We're going to keep pushing through. I'm going to try hold it together. Today's a tough day.
I don't know if I'll share this video with anybody, but I might. If not, it's a good little reminder for me that as much fun as you have out hunting and experiencing the outdoors, there's tough days. Today is one of them. Well, we're into the evening of day number 6, and with nothing happening in the other spot, we're moteling it tonight. Brought a little bit of gear with us and a cooler full of snacks, and we're going to hit a different spot for tonight and all day tomorrow. Never been here, never walked around. Hopefully we get into something good. We'll keep you updated. Tough going, day 6.
So we're in the bull's bedroom, and we think that he left with a herd of cows because he got close. We got him to within about 30 yards. We made a couple moves on him and closed that gap, but he just wouldn't get any closer. We followed him a little bit, found a great bedding area, and came back, worked the area that we first found him in, and definitely found where he calls home. A whole bunch of rubs, a whole bunch of soft dirt here. You can definitely smell them in the area. We're going to set up here again and do a little bit more calling. We have another bull chuckling in the distance. We'll see if we can close that gap on him.
It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. The encounter that we had this morning didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. We went back to that spot probably about an hour later and tried a couple more things, but nothing else was coming in. So we're going to hike over to the other side here. We're going to go deep. We're going to keep trying our luck. This is our last day out here, so giving it our all. Hopefully we can come up across some elk and see what we can make happen.
One last sit. One last chance.
I went through my slow play sequence and my advertising bugles, and eventually I could hear a bull elk panting and growling and making his way towards me from a distance. I then directed my cow calling towards him so he knew that I was speaking directly to him and calling him to come in. With the bull getting closer, I didn't want to be focusing on my camera equipment and missing out on an opportunity to get a shot on him, so I turned off the camera equipment and turned on my Tacticam. Unfortunately, my Tacticam did not function the way it was intended to, and I missed out on footage of him raking and thrashing the trees at 30 yards away from me. But when he moved and got into a shooting lane and I could count his points, I let the shot go.
It was a freaking long, hard week. We did it again, buddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Now the work begins.
Yeah. He's a nice little one. And he's got 3, and it took us forever to see if he had 3 on that one side, and he didn't go 60, 70 yards. Ah, this feels good. Okay, post-hunt video. What do we say?
Oh, thanks DOA for what an adventure.
You know what? All week I've thought long and hard about what we would do should we get an elk down. Last year it was a hard year as well. This year as well, our plans didn't work out to go where we normally go. We picked a new area. It didn't produce. We packed up, drove 2.5 hours away. We got on bulls that day, went back to our original area, wasn't producing, and said, we've spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money to get this done. Let's go where the bulls are. We came back here last night, right in this exact area right here. We had a bull come in right at dark. We didn't get a shot. We were on a bull this morning at 30 yards, didn't get a shot. Tonight was slow. Again, I started thinking this isn't going to happen, but it happened. He answered to a cow call, came in, kept chirping him in. He got to about 30 yards away and he started raking on the trees, and we both had a clear shot, and we couldn't count how many tines he had. It needs to be a 3-point zone, so 3 on each beam. 1, 2, and his little squiggly brow here. And on this one, 1, 2, 3, but no fronts on him. And I couldn't tell for sure, so I didn't take the shot until I was 100% sure. But as soon as he turned and started walking, I counted his left side that had 3, and I let it go. He was quartering to me. Not much blood, but he crashed, he coughed within about 60, 70 yards here. And we're going to get some elk meat in the freezer again.
Good job, Jeff.
Thanks for following DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. This is 2022 elk.